In this video, we are covering the volume of spheres, cones, cylinders, and pyramids. So this shape in number 1 is a cylinder, we can tell, because the bases are circles and it goes straight up and down. So think about a paint can or like a lipstick tube. Those are cylinders. So in order to find the volume of these, we want to find pi r squared h. So we're multiplying pi by the radius squared and the height. So over here we see that the radius is 4. So we can plug that into the equation for r. Okay, and the height is 8. So instead of h, we are going to write 8. So we have pi times 4 squared, which is 16, times 8. And 16 times 8 is, oops, one sec, 128. So this is our answer for number 1. For number 3, this is a sphere. So a sphere is like a ball or a globe or the earth. So what we want to do is find 4/3 pi r cubed, where r is the radius. So we are going to say 4/3 pi, and over here we have a radius of 5, so we are going to say 5 cubed, which is 5 times 5 times 5. So 4/3 of pi times 125. And when you find 4/3 of a number, what you want to do is multiply it by 4, or the top number, and then divide it by 3. And then we want to multiply that by pi, which is 3.14. And what we end up with is 519.4. Okay, number 5. So here we have a pyramid with a rectangular base. That means the bottom is a rectangle. So what we want to do is find 1/3 of the base, and by base they mean like the flat, the area of the bottom rectangle times the height. So in order to find the base of this pyramid, we want to multiply length times width. So that is 9 times 6, and that is 54. So now we plug this number in for this big B in the equation. So it's 1/3 times 54 times the height, which is 7. So what we're going to do is multiply 54 times 7, which is 378. And when you multiply something by 1/3, it's the same as dividing it by 3. So 378 divided by 3 is 126. And this is your answer for number 5. Number 7, we have another sphere, and remember we need the radius. So over here we have a diameter of 4, and the radius is half of the diameter. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So for r, we are going to substitute 2. So we're finding 2 to the third, which is 8. So we have 4/3 pi times 8, and so we want to multiply 8 times 4 and divide it by 3, and then we're going to multiply that by pi. And you can do all of this on your calculator, and we get 33.5. This is your answer for number 7. Number 9, we have another cylinder. It's just on its side now. So remember, we want to find pi r squared h. So over here we have a radius of 6. So instead of r, we're going to plug in 6. And instead of height, we are going to put in 13. So I know 13 looks like the length and not the height, but imagine that this cylinder were standing on the circle instead of lying on its side. So 6 squared is 36, so we want to multiply pi times 36 times 13, and 36 times 13 is 468, so we have 468 pi, And if you want to put it in decimal form, we would multiply 468 by 3.14, and then you would get 1,470.3. So either of these answers are acceptable. You can put 468 pi, or you can say 1,470.3. And that is it for section 13.3.